As we enter the second half of the second decade of this new century, the business of business continues, although with what seems to be increasing amounts of complexity on all levels. Business owners and executives struggle to look forward strategically while still maintaining the presence of mind to see today for what it is. What are the true challenges facing business today? Are they the same old issues, or are they different? A report published by the consulting firm BMGI listed 10 strategic issues that you and I would likely agree are the drivers of business complexity today. I mean, there's no magic in this list. These are things you and I have talked about time and time again. But to hear it from a third party who agrees with us, well, it's kind of nice. Well, what are their top 10? Number 1 on the list is uncertainty. Wow, this should be the most obvious thing in the world, as with rapid change, and we are certainly undergoing rapid change, uncertainty runs rampant. Social change and all of the other things we're about to list feed back on this critical yet unproductive sense of uncertainty. Number 2, globalization. With the development of communication and transportation technology, the world is certainly shrinking. But more than that, social media is creating communities out of people from varying parts of the world as if they were physical neighbors. This is redefining how we live, and truly at the speed of light. The opportunities for economic growth in the next 100 years will come from improved productivity in the developed world, to be sure, but more so from bringing the underdeveloped world up to developed standards. Number 3, innovation. Okay, as if we haven't seen this in the past 20 years. But wait, we've only just begun. Ubiquitous computing, everything, and new super materials like graphene will be enormously important parts of increasing productivity, bringing underdeveloped nations to developed status, and educating a world, feeding a world, and everything else. The speed at which innovation is happening is exponential, and so is innovation's impact on your business. Number 4, government policy and regulation. You know, in my book, The American Dream Under Fire, I outlined several regulatory issues that were serving to stagnate entrepreneurialism in the United States. This is certainly an issue for the United States, but it's importantly an issue for the world. New trade pacts like the Trans-Pacific Partnership will begin to create new regulatory institutions that almost serve as supranational agencies. Growth of government and the growth of an egalitarian mindset will change the way companies do business globally. Number 5, technology. Now let's relate that back to innovation. I think they're being a little redundant here, but clearly communication, transportation, materials, and the entirety of technology will serve on an increasingly rapid basis to create change in our methods and our practices. Number 6, diversity. Now, it's interesting here because we're not talking about political correctness. We're talking about the fact that as the world becomes more interrelated, companies will be forced to understand and adapt to varying cultural norms. Notwithstanding the demographic change in the U.S., companies will increasingly be providing goods and services to global neighbors, and this will require an understanding of local customs, local traditions, and overall local desires. Diversity in management will become an ever-increasing issue that companies need to be prepared to face. Number 7, complexity. As if changes in culture, social norms, government regulations, and technology weren't enough, base operating procedures like traditional project management protocols will be challenged and revamped to meet new goals and exploit new resources. Further, becoming part of a global economic world will require much more complexity as competitors come in from ever-increasing faraway places. Number 8, information overload. Now, you know, it wasn't long ago that the Air Force realized that fighter jet pilots were turning off much of the electronic information being conveyed to them because it was simply too much to process. Business, more and more, is in the same boat. The ability to sift through the noise to find the meat behind the issues will become a new value proposition for management. Number 9, supply chain. You know, just as Walmart changed the world of retailing through enhanced supply chain management, so will all companies continue to focus on that soft cost. Excessive inventory in an era of just-in-time everything will stand in the way of excellent companies' performance. New delivery vehicles like the proposed drones will simply open up new ways to get products to market and new ways to get suppliers' products to end users. And number 10, finally, strategic thinking and problem solving. This is the age-old problem. How many of us who have been in consulting or coaching have witnessed CEOs so mired down in the day-to-day issues facing their business that they don't have the presence of mind to really sit back and think strategically? This isn't a new problem, but when you consider the other 9 issues we've outlined, it becomes a much more complicated problem. Now, we all strive to build our careers and our businesses as best we can. Being conscious of the many issues facing you as the leadership is not only helpful, it's critical. Remember the often used phrase, "I'm not afraid of what I don't know, but I'm terrified of not knowing what I don't know."